Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Let's Lead. In today's episode, we will be talking about the problem of valid parenthesis. The problem is very straightforward. Let's go ahead and try to understand the problem. So the problem states that given a character or string containing just these characters, either the curly braces, the square braces, or the round braces, okay, we need to figure out if the input string is valid. And how to define if the input string is valid? Open bracket must be closed by same type of brackets. Okay, so if we have n number of open brackets, there should be corresponding n number of similar closed brackets. Okay, open bracket must be closed in the correct order. So those who are familiar to programming, they must know that there is an order in programming language that if we are closing any bracket or opening any bracket, they are to be closed in the same order. So if I open a square bracket, then a round bracket, then the round bracket closes first, then the square bracket closes after. This is a valid way and this is a invalid way. Okay, so only if we have opening braces and in the same order it should be closed. Okay, so this is a valid input. Now this is also a valid input. If you see in the problem example itself, this is a valid input because the braces are being closed in the same order and there are no open braces in between or closing braces, incomplete closing braces in between. Okay, now how do we approach this problem? There are few pointers to remember or few pointers to observe. Basically, if you see very carefully, any valid string would only start from an opening bracket. Okay, it can be any kind of opening bracket, a round bracket, a curly bracket, or a square bracket. A valid string would never start with a closing bracket. Okay, it would never start with this or this. It would always start with this. Okay, so one thing what we can use in our favor. Second thing, just remember, let's say I have n number of opening bracket. Okay, let's say I have a square bracket, I have a round bracket, then I have a curly bracket, then again I have a round bracket. Now as I can have as many as opening bracket, but as soon as I start putting the close bracket, the first close bracket will be the immediate opposite or immediate pair of will be the pair of the immediate one preceding it. What I mean by that is, मेरे कहने का क्या मतलब है, अगर मेरे पास 3 डिफरेंट टाइप के क्लोजिंग ओपनिंग ब्रेसेस हैं एंड इट कैन बी एनी नंबर ऑफ, फिर जैसे ही मैं क्लोजिंग ब्रेसेस शुरू करूँगा, इट विल ऑलवेज बी द इमीडिएट वन बिफोर इट. ओके, सो अगर मैं इन सब, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं इन सारे ओपनिंग ब्रेसेस को एक लिस्ट में डाल दूँ, तो जैसे ही मेरा पहला क्लोजिंग ब्रैकेट आएगा, दैट विल be opposite of the -1 from the list. Okay, या वो -1 जो मेरे लिस्ट में था या लास्ट वाला जो मेरे लिस्ट में था उसका पेयर होगा. तो what this I can use for my benefit. तो मेरा कहने का मतलब है, let's say I have one round bracket, one braces. Okay, so जैसे ही मेरा पहला closing bracket आए, okay, as soon as my first closing bracket comes, I should check, is my -1 a pair of this? If yes, I can cross them out, I can remove them. Now the second closing bracket which comes, I should check is since this is not in my list, this will become a -1. Is the -1 the opposite of this? Yes, then I could cross them out. So to check if they are equal or not, what I can do is, I can, instead of checking for the opposite, I could create a map which stores the opposite for each. Like for example, this one, it could be the key and this one could be the the value for that. And in a similar manner, the opening braces, curly braces, and this should be the closing curly braces. Okay, and in a similar manner, the opening square bracket, and this could be an closing opening opposite of the closing square bracket could be opposite of opening it. And in that case, what will happen is, as soon as I encounter a closing brace, I can go ahead and check in my map that what is the opposite of it, this would be the opposite of it, and I could match it up with this. If it matches, then it is a valid thing. Okay, and in such way, one by one, we can cross out all the all the braces, and in the end, if we are left with empty list, okay, empty list, or you can say stack, because we are following the approach of a stack. It removes the topmost element, okay, or the recent element. So if we are left with empty list or stack, we can say that our string was valid. If not, it was invalid. As simple as that. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about its implementation. Talking about the implementation, let's say I could have a holder list, okay, which holds the holder open list, okay, which holds the opening parenthesis, okay, and I could create a map close to open, okay, and this should be let's say and I'll just copy paste just to, this is the similar fashion. Square bracket. Okay, once we have this map, I can just iterate over each element of the string. For C in string S, okay, if C in close to open, if holder open, okay, and if there are elements in this particular list, I could pick first I need to check that this particular list is not empty, and if I'm doing that by if holder open, and also I need to check that the -1 element, okay, is equals to close to open, see, okay. If yes, then what I can do is holder open dot pop. This will pop out the last element, okay. Else, if not, return false. That means that it does not have a pair, valid pair, okay. And in the end, if there are no elements, what I can do is, if this condition is not true, if C is not in close to open, if they are not present in this list, that means they are opening braces, okay. So what we need to do is, we need to holder open, we need to append it, dot append C, okay. And in the end, we will check if my holder open list is empty. That means that there are no invalid or incomplete parentheses present. I can just go ahead and return true if it is empty, or else false. Return true if not, holder open, else false, okay. Let's go ahead and submit this. So yeah, this was the implementation. Thank you so much, and I'll be back with another episode.